Okay, so here we are on Monday morning, a second day. We just took Titus out. He's our rescue dog. We did get some good follow-up information from the foster, which, to be clear, the words we choose are important, and the more succinct we could be in describing a behavior, because the dog can't talk. So nowhere in my world can I ask this dog how he's feeling, what he's feeling. He feel a high pressure center in Virginia right now, and that will change his behavior. So his senses are much different than ours. We can't even describe it because we don't understand it. How could we smell? How do we could determine that this dog could smell a drop of a little bit of cocaine in a candy bar? How do we know that? How can they find tumors in people's bodies? We can't describe it because they have senses that are so heightened. So it's important as humans, especially rescuers. So my point is, the foster family who had him provided me with some real solid information. And these things are valuable. It's never a question of are the people inept or ignorant. It's just maybe a word or two, or not really just giving as much information as possible. So he does have a trigger. He does have these behaviors. The questions are they unpredictable? Is he unstable? Is he unstable? So since he's been here, you know, the first day, similar if you were to go to a human rehab, the first thing you do is you take most everything away. Their toothbrushes. Anybody who's familiar with addiction or recovery, you know that everything's taken away. Anything that could be manipulated, the toothbrush, and you go and you stay. And then as you progress and become more confident in yourself, or whatever the rehabilitation process is, you're given things back. So we start very basic here, and in our world it's a very spiritual Zen place. So here there's no yelling. The only reason I'm talking now is to communicate to the camera, and that's where my problem begins. I'm yelling and stuff. When it comes to dogs, I'm down here. So obviously this dog just noticed something that I'm not aware of. It could be a cat on there goes a bird, there could be a cat on the other side of the tree. I don't know. And I'm sitting down. One of his triggers definitely was, from what I think, is when you lower your profile, he wants to come towards you, or jump, or even worse, take the leash. So taking the leash and struggling with it like that, it's either defensive or offensive. Meaning if he wanted to bite me at any time, he could bite me. But what I think is a leash has a lot of psychological representation to a dog, right? And we don't know his history. We don't know. Now, he can turn around and come and get the leash now, and I'm going to be ready. So I'm not doing this in my living room yet. I'm sitting down. I've set the dog up for failure, but I'm not yelling and screaming. I can't talk to Titus in English, in human. I have to talk in dog. So that's all I'm doing. I know that at some point I'm going to stare him in the eyes, and he's going to make a decision. And his decision might be to come up the leash. He might have been taught to jump on somebody's lap for the last 2 years of his life. Now we're trying to teach him not to, so we have to just live in the moment, take all that anecdotal information as long as it's accurate. It just has to be descriptive as best we can, because I'll never be able to ask him. So that's where we are today. So what am I doing here? I'm sitting down, and then I'm going to stand up. The first thing I teach everybody is to relax and get into a Zen place. Now, if I was in a factory, or there was, you know, a lot of things, unnatural things going on. There's a bus terminal across the street, there's a train station, there's an airport. If we were in a factory with forklifts, that might raise this dog's level of anxiety. So I want to see what his baseline is, and I want to trigger. I want him to come up the leash at me. Here's the irony. I want to see it so I can identify what's doing it. But so far I haven't had that problem. I'm not going to yell. I don't even care about his name, honestly. That's why sometimes I'm at a loss. Because it's in the natural world, birds and animals aren't given names. They know by movement. Movement. So I moved, he moved. If he pulls on the leash, I'm going to correct him a little bit. But he's not. So there's no tension in my body. If there's tension, I correct. So we're keeping this low level. I'm going to start doing things, as I said, raising the anxiety. I'm going to put him under pressure to see how he responds to pressure. But just think, the other thing I learned, he was only neutered 4 weeks ago. So let's just say, you know, these are very important things. That us as a group of saving this dog's not. It's not about my ego. It's not about anything. It's not about the vet's ego. They want to give the dog tranquilizers. I do my thing. It's not about that. It's what's best for this animal. Can we keep this dog alive? And my point is, I think so. I don't think there's too much wrong with it. I could be wrong. And I'll be the first one to say I misdiagnosed it. Doctors misdiagnose, psychiatrists misdiagnose. It's not stupidity. I don't consider myself ignorant or inept if I miss something here. So I don't try not to get defensive. 20 years ago, my ego was more involved. Now it's not. Good boy. Good boy. So that's it for today, and we'll follow up.